Rain poured over the naval base like the sky itself was in mourning. The corridors gleamed with reflections of blue-gray light, and inside the mess hall the smell of disinfectant clung to the air. It was 2 a.m., too late for anyone but ghosts and janitors. Yet that was when life often revealed its deepest truths. Marcus Reed, a single father and janitor at the naval base, pushed his mop across the polished floor. His hands were calloused, his shoulders heavy, not just from work, but from years of struggle. He wasn't supposed to be here this late, but extra hours meant extra pay. And extra pay meant another week's groceries for his 6-year-old daughter, Emily. At the other end of the hall, an older man in an immaculate Navy uniform walked quietly, his medals glinting even in the dim light. Admiral Thomas Hargrove, one of the most respected figures in the Navy, wasn't supposed to be here either, but duty and regret often keep the powerful awake at night. Marcus didn't notice him at first. He was humming softly, the kind of hum that comes from exhaustion and habit. But the Admiral noticed him, noticed the slow, steady rhythm, the tired eyes, the way the man worked as if he carried the world on his back. And in that moment, fate decided to blur the lines between rank and humility. Hours passed. The storm outside grew louder. The Admiral, too tired to return to his office, sat down in the quiet hall beside the janitor. It was strange. 2 men from different worlds sitting in silence. Marcus leaned against the wall, taking a breath. Without realizing, the Admiral's head drooped and rested gently on Marcus's shoulder. The janitor froze. He didn't know what to do. Should he move? Should he wake him? But something about the Admiral's face stopped him. There was sorrow there, deep sorrow. So Marcus stayed still. For once, he let someone else rest, even if that someone wore stars on his chest. When the Admiral woke, he was startled, but more than that, he was ashamed. "I'm sorry," he muttered, straightening his uniform. "I didn't mean to." Marcus smiled softly. "No harm done, sir. Everyone needs a place to rest sometimes." That one line, simple human, cut deeper than any salute or formal address. The Admiral didn't say a word. He just nodded and walked away. But something inside him shifted. The next day, the story spread quietly through the base. The Admiral fell asleep on the janitor's shoulder. Someone whispered in disbelief. "He didn't even yell at him," said another. But no one knew what really happened that night, what that silence had meant. Later that week, Marcus got a message to report to the Admiral's office. He thought he was in trouble. His hands trembled as he walked in, holding his cap nervously. The Admiral was sitting behind his desk, eyes soft, a small photo frame of his late son beside him. "Reed," he said quietly, "I owe you an apology." Marcus frowned. "For what, sir?" "For forgetting what it means to be human," the Admiral said. "That night when I fell asleep, I hadn't slept in 3 days. I'd just come from a memorial service. Lost one of my best officers. Reminded me of my son. I came back here to work, to drown it out. Then I saw you." Marcus didn't know what to say. "You were working like your life depended on it," the Admiral continued. "But there was peace in your face. I couldn't understand it. I realized that night that strength doesn't always wear a uniform." Marcus's eyes burned, but he forced a smile. "We all carry something, sir. Some of us just do it quietly." The Admiral nodded slowly. "You're right." Then came something no one expected. "Tell me, Reed," he said. "What would you do if you didn't have to mop these floors?" Marcus hesitated. "Honestly, sir, I'd teach. I always loved history. But after Emily's mother passed, I dropped out of college, had to work." The Admiral leaned back. "What if I told you the Navy runs an educational assistance program for civilian employees too?" Marcus blinked. I didn't know that." "Well," said the Admiral, a faint smile tugging at his lips, "you do now. I'd like you to apply. I'll make sure your name is on the list." Marcus's throat tightened. "Sir, I don't know what to say." "Say you'll do it," said the Admiral. "And when you do, teach Emily that kindness matters, that one act, even one shoulder to lean on, can change everything." Marcus's voice cracked. "Yes, sir." Weeks turned into months. Marcus began taking night classes with the Navy's support. He'd work during the day, study at night, and read to Emily before bed. Every day felt like climbing a mountain, but this time he wasn't climbing alone. The Admiral would occasionally check in. Sometimes they'd talk about life, sometimes about leadership. Marcus learned that the Admiral's son had been a Navy pilot, killed in a crash 2 years earlier. Since then, Hargrove had buried himself in work, shutting out the world. But somehow that quiet moment on a janitor's shoulder had cracked the walls around his heart. Their friendship became something of a legend on the base. Soldiers who once walked past Marcus without noticing now greeted him by name. The cafeteria ladies packed him extra meals for Emily. Even the commanding officers treated him with respect. It wasn't pity, it was admiration. And then came the day of the ceremony. Marcus stood in front of the entire base, in a crisp uniform, the uniform of a newly appointed civilian education officer. The Admiral stood beside him, chest out, voice steady. "Sometimes," the Admiral said into the microphone, "leadership isn't about rank. It's about heart, about the people who remind us that service isn't tea measured by stars or titles, but by how much light you bring to the people around you." He turned to Marcus and said, "You taught me that." The crowd erupted in applause. Marcus tried to hold back tears, but when he looked at Emily, sitting in the front row, waving proudly, he couldn't. After the ceremony, Marcus approached the Admiral. "Sir," he said, smiling, "you didn't just give me a job, you gave me my life back." The Admiral shook his head. "No, Reed, you gave me mine." They stood there side by side, two men who once had nothing in common but exhaustion. One with medals, one with a mop, yet both had found in each other the same thing, the courage to keep going. The reminder that compassion is strength, and that the smallest act of kindness can ripple through the world like a quiet wave that never truly fades. The storm had long passed. But in the hearts of everyone on that base, something had changed forever. Because sometimes it takes a single moment of humanity, a tired shoulder, a quiet room, and an open heart, to remind the world that greatness is never about status. It's about soul.